Hello friends, you are watching 3A's Vision, an innovative distance learning channel. We have started a series of videos about international financial reporting standards and international accounting standards, followed one by one. It is most important and desired that if you are interested in improving your learnings in international financial reporting standards and international accounting standards, subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon to get our future updates. In preparation of IFRS 2 video, we tried our level best to cover the maximum matter of discussion which will be helpful to understand the IFRS 2. Therefore, keeping in view the length of this video, we have split up the video of this standard in 4 different parts to control its time length. Therefore, to get complete knowledge, watch its all parts. IFRS 2 share-based payment. There are 11 main elements of IFRS 2 which we will discuss in detail in our videos, that are its introduction, number 2 its overview, number 3 its scope, number 4 classification of share-based payment transactions, number 5 classification of conditions, number 6 equity settled share-based transactions with employees, number 7 cash settled share-based payment transactions with employees, number 8 employee transaction choice of settlement, and number 9 modification and cancellation of employee share-based payment transaction, number 10 group share payments, and at the end finally number 11 share-based payment transaction with non-employees. In part first of IFRS 2 videos, we will discuss the first 3 main elements of IFRS 2, that are its introduction, its overview, and its scope. Background: share-based payments were first observed in the 1960s, primarily in the United States. Consequently, the history of international requirements for the accounting for share-based payments is relatively short compared with other areas of accounting. Share-based payments. A share-based payment is either a payment in equity instruments of the entity to the supplier, including employees, of goods or services to the entity. That is called equity settled share-based payments, or a payment in cash or other assets for amounts that are based on the value of the equity instruments of the entity. That is called cash settled share-based payments. There are 3 main reasons for share-based payments. Principal agent theory. According to this theory, the agent pursue not only the interests of the shareholders but also their own interests, which may not necessarily be the same. Number 2, reward for past services. Share-based payments are also granted for past services. For example, to acknowledge good services of an employee by giving them a participation in the entity. Number 3, other reasons. Another important reason for granting equity settled share-based payments is to receive goods or services without affecting the entity's liquidity. This form of remuneration is often found in high growth industries. In the overview of IFRS 2, we will discuss different basic factors to understand this standard, scope, and basic principles. In a share-based payment transaction, an entity receives goods or services in exchange for consideration in the form of equity instruments or cash or other assets for amounts that are based on the price of equity instruments. Goods or services received in a share-based payment transaction are measured at fair value. Goods are recognized when they are obtained, and services are recognized over the period over which they are received. Classification of share-based payment transactions. Share-based transactions are classified based on whether the entity's obligation is to deliver its own equity instruments, that is equity settled, or cash or other assets, that is cash settled. Classification of conditions. Conditions are determined whether and or when the entity receives the required services are classified as vesting or non-vesting conditions. Therefore, the vesting conditions are subdivided into services, market, and non-market performance conditions. On the other hand, non-vesting conditions are also subdivided into several categories. Equity settled share-based payments with employees. For equity settles transactions, an entity recognizes a cost and a corresponding entry in equity. Measurement is based on the grant date fair value of the equity instruments granted. Market and non-vesting conditions are reflected in the initial measurement of fair value, with no subsequent true-up for differences between expected and actual outcome. Cash settled share-based payments with employees. For cash settled transactions, an entity recognizes a cost and a corresponding liability. The liability is remeasured until settlement date for subsequent changes in fair value. Employee transactions with the choice of settlement. Grants in which the counterparty has a choice of settlement are accounted for as compound instruments. Grants in which the entity has a choice of settlement are classified as either equity settled share-based payments or cash settled share-based payments, depending on the entity's liability and intent to settle in shares. Modifications and cancellation of employee transactions. Modification of share-based payment results in the recognition of any incremental fair value, but not any reduction in fair value. Replacements are accounted for as modifications. Cancellation of share-based payment results in acceleration of vesting. Group share-based payments. A share-based payment in which the receiving entity and the settling entity are in the same group from the perspective of the ultimate parent, and which is settled either by an entity in that group or by an external shareholder of any entity in that group, is a group share-based payment and is accounted for such as by both the receiving and the settling entities. Share-based payments with non-employees. Equity settled transactions with non-employees are generally measured based on the fair value of the goods or services received. That is called direct measurement. Replacement awards in a business combination. Replacements of awards held by the acquiring employees in a business combination when the acquirer is obliged to issue share-based payments, replacement awards, or choose to replace awards that expire as a result of the business combination. Other application issues. Accounting for share-based payments can have interactions with income taxes, earning per share calculation, hedging, and events after the reporting period. Transition requirements, unrecognized share-based payments, and first-time adoption of IFRS. There are specific transition requirements for existing IFRS users, and there are specific transition requirements for first-time adopters of IFRS. In the scope of IFRS 2, we have to discuss the brief understanding of this IFRS. First of all, definition of share-based payment. A share-based payment arrangement is an agreement between the entity and another party, including an employee, that entitles the other party to receive: number 1, cash or other assets of the entity for amounts that are based on the price or value of equity instruments, including shares or share options of the entity or another group entities. Number 2, equity instruments, including shares or share options of the entity or another group entity, provided that the specified vesting conditions are met. A share-based payment transaction is a transaction in which the entity receives goods or services from the suppliers of those goods or services, including an employee, in a share-based payment arrangement, or incurs an obligation to settle the transaction with the supplier in a share-based payment arrangement when another group entity receives those goods or services. Determining whether transaction is share-based payment transaction in the scope of IFRS 2. If a transaction is share-based payment transaction in the scope of IFRS 2, then the next step is to determine the classification of the transaction as either equity settled, cash settled, or a transaction in which one party has the choice of settlement. If a transaction is in the scope of IFRS 2, then the requirement of the standard specify both the initial and the subsequent accounting for the equity instruments issued or liability incurred, including requirements for planned and unplanned repurchase of vested shares. Basic features of share-based payment transactions. A transaction in which the entity receives goods or services in an arrangement that entitles the suppliers to receive equity instruments of the entity or cash or other assets of the entity for amounts that are based on the price or value of equity instruments of the entity. That are number one, goods or services. The most common goods or services received in exchange for a share-based payment are employee services. Identification of goods or services. Goods or services may be either received when a share-based payment is granted or expected to be received in the future. And number third, goods or services received from a supplier. The goods or services received are to be received by the entity need to be provided by the counterparty in its capacity as a supplier of goods or services. If the goods or services are provided by a counterparty in its capacity as a shareholder, then the transaction is not a share-based payment transaction. Consideration in form of share-based payment. In its basic form, a share-based payment transaction requires the entity to settle the transaction by either transferring its own equity instruments or making a payment in cash or other assets for amounts that are based on the price or value of its equity instruments. Definition of equity instruments. An equity instrument is a contract that evidences a residual interest in the assets of an entity after deducting all of its liabilities. Equity instruments of the entity. The basic definition of a share-based payment arrangement refers to equity instruments of the entity. The basis of cash payments. If the entity does not settle in its own equity instruments, but in a payment of cash or other assets, then the amount is a share-based payment if it is based on the price or value of its equity instruments. Transactions outside scope of IFRS 2. The following transactions are not share-based payment transactions in the scope of IFRS 2. Number 1. The counterparty acts in its capacity as a shareholder. Number 2. The reporting entity issues a share-based payment as consideration for the acquisition of a business. And number 3. The reporting entity issues a share-based payment as consideration for a contract to acquire a non-financial item that is in the scope of the financial instruments standards. Other transactions outside the scope of IFRS 2. The exclusion from IFRS 2 for business combinations extends beyond business combination transactions as defined in IFRS 3. That the following transactions are also outside the scope of IFRS 2. Acquisition of non-controlling interests after control is obtained. Acquisition of associates. And acquisition of a joint controlling interest in a joint venture. Issues in practice. Share-based payment versus shareholder transaction. IFRS 2 does not limit situations in which the counterparty acts in its capacity as a shareholders to transactions in which all existing shareholders are granted the same rights and restrictions. Share-based payment versus employee benefit. A cash payment is a share-based payment if the payment is in cash or other assets for amounts that are based on the price or value of the equity instruments of the entity. Cash payments based on approximation of price or value. Sometimes a payment is not based on the price or value of the entity's equity instruments, but on an approximation of that measure. Date of determination of cash payments and link to services. A payment needs to be based on the price or value of the equity instrument of the entity and paid in return for goods or services provided to the entity. Cash payments depending on share price versus being based on share price. A cash payment may depend on but not be based on the share price. Capped payments. An arrangement may provide for a payment to be made that is based on the share price of an entity but is subject to a cap. Relevance of classification. One characteristic of a share-based payment transaction is that it is based on the price or value of equity instruments of the entity. An equity instrument is a contract that evidences a residual interest in the assets of an entity after deducting all of its liabilities. Deemed equity. An arrangement may require a cash payment to be made based on the price of a deemed share or a synthetic instrument. Non-share based elements. Separable non-share based cash element, non-share based cash alternative, and non-share based cash alternative at discretion of entity. Share based payment versus financial instruments. Some share based payment arrangements may be in the form of financial instruments that appear to be outside the scope of IFRS 2. Although the classification and subsequent measurement requirements of IFRS 2 are similar to those of the financial instrument standards, some differences exist, and it is therefore important to determine the applicable standards. Shares as legal mechanism for future payment based on the law of subscription price and fair value, requirement to buy and hold shares. Number 4, tax payments related to share-based payments. The tax is often based on the difference between the share price and the exercise price, measured at the exercise date. Alternatively, the tax may be calculated based on the grant date, fair value of the grant. Number 1. The tax payments when employee has primary liability. In many cases, the tax obligation is a liability of the employee and not the employer, although the employer may have an obligation to collect it or withhold it. Number 2. Tax payments when employer has primary liability. The employer rather than the employee may have the legal obligation to pay taxes on employees' awards. If the employer is the obligor for the tax, then the employer recognizes the cost and liability. Issues in practice. Number 5. Employee share purchase plans. Often broad-based, share-based payment arrangements are designed as employee share purchase plans. Sometimes the shares are granted to the employees subject to a payment at a value below fair value. In this case, the entity receives past or future services in return for granting a discount, and accordingly, the transaction is a share-based payment. Issues in practice. Number 6. Reverse acquisition. A reverse acquisition is a business combination in which the legal acquirer, that is the entity that issues the securities, become the acquiree for accounting purposes, and the legal acquiree becomes the acquirer for accounting purposes. In our next video, part 2 of IFRS 2, we will discuss about very important elements of the IFRS 2, that are classification of share-based payment transactions and classification of conditions. So therefore, keep on watching our videos. Thanks and goodbye.